Oh, hey, my name's Sean. Welcome to the Rough Science Workshop. I've just been going through my big book of slime recipes. I've got a bit of a mystery to look at here. Because I promise you, today I'm going to show you the recipe for the world's greatest slime. That's right, the world's greatest slime. But when I look it up in this book, I seem to have two recipes under the one heading. They both say the world's greatest slime. I want to find out what the difference is. But first, before we begin, hi, welcome. Like I said, my name's Sean. This is the Rough Science Workshop, and I like to start by always asking, what is science? What is science? When I say the word science, what pops into your head? For me, science is a way to answer questions. And today, I'm going to try and find out which one of these recipes is going to be the world's greatest slime. So, first of all, we need some materials, and the materials for these two slimes are like this. So let's have a closer look so you can have a look. Here we go. First, we've got one set of slime, which is going to be using this stuff, Elmer's glue. Also, with Elmer's glue slime, we're going to also need some of this, which is some contact lens cleaner. We also need some bicarbonate of soda. But we're going to be doing a second slime, and this second slime is going to be using this stuff. It's called Guar Gum. Also with Guar Gum, we need a little bit of glycerine, as well as this stuff, which is called Borax. All of these things you can find in supermarkets or in office supplies places. So the glycerine you can certainly get in supermarkets and chemists. The Guar Gum is usually in health food shops. The borax you'll find in the laundry aisle of a supermarket. Bicarbonate of soda is from any supermarket. This one here, I recommend going to maybe a discount chemist to get, because it can be quite expensive, but you can get it in nice big discount packets. And this one here, definitely you can get from supermarkets as well as office supplies. All right, let's come back up here and see what we need to do to mix these together. So I'm going to start with this slime here, and we'll start by mixing this one together. Now, the recipe for this slime I've put onto the Rough Science website, roughscience.net. But if you want to follow along or take notes, I'm going to do what's called bucket chemistry. Bucket chemistry is just putting the proportions in. We're not going to be too worried about getting the exact measurements, but you'll get a sense of how much you need to put in. So let's come down here and have a close look and see what we can do to make this slime. Right, first things first. I'm going to put around 100 mils of this Elmer's glue and the base down at the bottom of the jug. There we go. Glug, 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 glug. So about 100 mils. Now to this, we add a little bit of bicarbonate of soda. Now it can be around about a quarter teaspoon or so, or if you don't have a measure, I like to put in about that much, and we pop it in. Now here's the thing, in doing research over this one, I can't find any chemical explanation what happens with the bicarbonate of soda. But what I do notice is when I mix these two together, we end up with a whole heap of bubbles starting to form in the glue down here. And I've also found that whenever I've made the slime and I've left out the bicarb, it doesn't work properly. It comes out too runny, and adding the bicarb, suddenly it all thickens up. Now, if there's any chemists in the audience who can give me an explanation, I would love to hear it. So there we go. I think the bicarb is actually reacting with something inside the glue and producing a little bit of carbon dioxide, which is what we see as the bubbles. But it's not until we add our activator that we actually start to get this glue turning into a slime. And our activator today is going to be this stuff. This is the contact lens cleaner. And I've cut the top open so I can splash in a generous amount. So I'm going to put in a big splash, like about that much. And as soon as we start mixing, you'll notice that a reaction is taking place. Suddenly, that glue is now getting quite sticky to itself. Rather than being nice runny glue, it's starting to become very, very gooey. Ugh. Ugh. A bit more. Now, if it fights back, you just fight it back. And the more we mix it, and mix that lens cleaner into it, the more it goes like this. I'm going to let that sit for a moment, and we'll come back to it in a second and see what's happened to it. For now, I'll put it over here. Let's have a go with the second slime. Now the second slime, like I said, is going to be using this stuff, Guar Gum. And to mix it up, we get another container. But we're going to mix a few things into this. First of all, we're going to start with a little bit of warm water. So I've got some ordinary warm water here, and again, like before, about 100 mils. There we go. With the Guar Gum, when we add it, we don't need very much. We're going to do about a quarter teaspoon, or thereabouts. Now, the important thing with this is not to just dump it in and then walk away and leave it. Because what happens is the water surrounds the clump of gum, and the stuff on the inside just doesn't get a chance to touch any of the water. So what we need to do is we need to kind of sprinkle it all over, like that. And then, very, very quickly, get to it and start mixing. Guar Gum is what's known as a thickener. And the first thing you'll notice when you start to mix this around is that the water starts to take on a bit of thickness, a bit gooey gumness. Also, we need a little splash of glycerin. Would have been ideal to do the glycerin first, but I forgot, and this is live. Alright, good mix like that. Now, let's check out how our water's changed. I'm going to pour it from one jug to another jug so you can see. It's a bit more gooey, not as runny like the water. And that's what our Guar Gum has done. So, how do we get this reacting? Well, we need to, like the other slime, we need to add some kind of activator. Now, in this case, I'm going to make the activator by using a little cup. We're going to put some more water in there, about 1 cup's worth of water. And to this, I'm going to add some borax. Now, quick word of warning about borax. This stuff is not great for your hands. If you're going to be really mixing your hands in while this stuff is not properly reacted with the other stuff that we're going to pour it into, we need to be wearing some gloves. But I'm going to be doing this to begin with by putting it into there and keeping my hands out of it. I have quite sensitive skin and it's not a lot of fun. So, with the borax, make sure, if you're going to be using this, to be using this with the help of your local adult. So we're going to put in about that much borax into our cup of water. Put it in a little bit by bit so it has a chance to dissolve. And give it a mix up like this. And while it's in that warm water, it can have a chance to really dissolve in the water. And while we do this, we're going to check in with our live studio audience. Let's come back up here and have a look at our live studio audience. Hello, Bonnie. How are you doing? Can Bonnie come on camera? Come here, Bonnie. Come here. This is my assistant Bonnie, who's going to be helping us out today. Oh, yes. Hello. This is Bonnie. Everyone say hi to Bonnie. Bonnie, say hi to everyone at home. Oh, she's really interested in Guar Gum. No, that's not for dogs. There we go. All right, I'm going to pass you back. There you go. So our Bonnie is our tech person. She's busy pushing all the buttons to make sure all of this stuff happens. Oh, but she wants to be let out. Okay, bye Bonnie. See you later. Live television. Okay, let's have a look at our borax mixture down here. So our borax we've mixed in with the water, and now we're going to have a go at adding it to our mixture over here. Now, here's the important thing. Let's get down close and have a look. The thing is that we don't want to just simply take this cup and pour it all in. What we want to do is just add a little bit and mix that in. And then, once you've done that, just add a little bit more. And already, just by doing that, there has been a change that's starting to come onto our thickened gum mixture. It's starting to really want to stick to itself more than it does want to just flow around anymore. There we go. Okay. And like I said, we've got to be careful with the borax, so I'm going to make sure that this has got a good mix through, so that before I touch it with my hands, the borax has had a chance to react with as much of the stuff in there as much as possible. And you see, that's all I needed in that case there. So I'm going to put that to one side, and we'll use that a little bit later. Let's come back to our original one. This is our first slime. Whoa. And this has reacted up very nicely. Let's pull it out so you can see it. And once you get it to this point, what you can do is pull the whole thing out of the jug. Let's come up here and have a look at it and see what happens when we pull it out. Oh boy. Isn't that fantastic? It's lovely. This Elmer's glue has really started to stick to itself very well, but not too well. In fact, it's kind of stuck to my fingers. In fact, the number of times that I've done this in a classroom and I end up with somebody coming up to me going, "It didn't work." There's a little secret that I'll show you about how you fix mistakes like this. And what you do is you just simply pour some of that lens cleaner over your hands like this and get more of that lens cleaner mixing, because the more we add, the more it's going to stick to itself than it is going to stick to you. And the more you mix it around, the more that lens cleaner is also going to get a chance to mix in with more and more of that glue, and you end up with this wonderful sounding stuff. Let's bring it up to the microphone so you can hear it in action. It's like those hypnosis videos. And now let's see what happens when we add some more lens cleaner. Okay, I got a problem. It's okay. It's fine. No, it's fine. You don't have to come in. No, it's I meant to do that. Okay, like I said, a little too much. A little bit more lens cleaner, and you can get this stuff to ungoop off your hands. I'll clean it up later. Let's check out our other one. Our other one has done more or less a similar sort of thing, except I've added a bit too much borax, and now it's become a great big solid in itself. But that's pretty fun. There we go. Once you get it to this stage, there's actually some cool things that you can sort of do with it. If you get some of this one off the wall, what you can do is get something like a cardboard tube, and if you get some of this and stretch it out over the front of the cardboard tube, you can then make bubbles like that. Again, let's try a little thicker membrane over the front. One more. More. So, that one is a huge amount of fun to play around with. Now, the question at this point is, what's actually going on? How is this thing working? Well, to understand what's going on with it, what we need to do is think about what's happening down at the stuff that is actually making it up. So everything around us is made up of atoms, and those atoms get into groups which we call molecules. And if you say had something like a glass of water, that glass of water is made up of a water molecule. Well, it's not one water molecule. This water molecule hangs around in a whole heap of group of its friends. So if we had one like that, as a liquid, these water molecules like to hang out, but they're very weakly attracted to each other. So if you put your hand through water, it separates quite easily. It might cling to you. And inside a glass of water, you wouldn't have 2 or 3. You'd have billions. Now slime is working because it's made up of a different sort of molecule. This molecule is it shifts around, but it's very, very much attracted to things. It really wants to stick on to other things. But when we add the borax, something happens. These molecules start to link up. We end up with something that's called cross-linking. And in cross-linking, these molecules link up like this and become more and more attracted to itself. So you end up with these great big interlinked molecules sticking to itself. And so, like I said, if you end up with a bit of a moment where you find it's all stuck to yourself a little too much, what you can do is just add a little bit more of this lens cleaner, and it will help to get the stickiness off your hands. Now, there's something similar going on with this slime as there is with this slime. And the similarity comes down to something that is very similar about the activator. We've got this stuff and we've got this stuff. In fact, if we have a read of this stuff, the ingredients in it says solution contains sodium citrate, sodium chloride, boric acid. See, at that point in my head there was dun dun dun. So we'll try that again. There is sodium citrate, sodium chloride, and boric acid. The reason why there's the dun 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 in my head is that this is also boric acid. These are very similar. Although this one doesn't have as much boric acid as this one over here, which means that it's not going to cause the skin irritation that you might get if you put your hands into that one. So with that in mind, does that mean if we add this to this, we'll get the same reaction? Well, we can give it a go. Let's have a closer look. Let's come down here and add some more Elmer's glue. little bit of bicarbonate of soda. Mix the two together like this. And to this, let's add some of our activator from our Guar Gum slime. So I'm going to put in 1 squirt, 2 squirts, maybe 3 squirts. And we'll start to mix it around like this, and instantly this has already started to activate. I could probably have started with only 1 squirt rather than going all the way to 3 squirts. But let's see what this has turned into. Alright. So, like our Guar Gum, our Elmer's glue slime has activated using that borax mixture. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, good. So there you go. So, 2 slimes. We've got our Elmer's glue, and we've also got our Guar Gum. So, which of these is the world's greatest slime? Well, admittedly, I have a huge amount of fun with this, as you can probably tell. This one here, though, is cheaper. So you can buy these in kits. You can go and get yourself some Elmer's glue or an Elmer's glue slime kit, and it is quite expensive to make a lot of this type of slime. But this one here, you can make a huge amount of this slime for a fraction of the cost of this one here. In fact, as a challenge, what I'd like to do is make a lot of this slime. I want to make, no, not 1 litre of slime, not 2 litres of slime, not 5 litres slime. I want to make 10 litres of slime using Guar Gum. But not today. I'm going to save this particular activity for Friday. On the Rough Science Workshop on Friday, we're going to make 10 litres of slime. But I'm going to do that on Friday. So between now and then, what I'd like you to do is perhaps see if you can bring along a friend or two to come and see this on the Rough Science Workshop channel. So be sure to tune in on Friday for that. Tomorrow on the Rough Science Workshop, what we're going to do is keep going with our slime week with one last thing that is related to slime, but a little bit different. We're going to be looking at plaster of Paris and how that works. But for now, this brings us more or less to the end of today's Rough Science Workshop. And I've got a lot of cleaning up to do. Just a couple of things before we go. First of all, roughscience.net. Go along to that if you want to find out the worksheet on how to make the Elmer's glue slime. Second thing, if you have enjoyed this, give our Twitch channel a follow. We appreciate you coming along and checking out and seeing if you can do some of these activities at home. But, like I said, my name's Sean. This has been the Rough Science Workshop, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you. Oh boy, I need a mop. Oh dear. No, Bonnie, stay out, stay out!